Hello, friends. Welcome to a new episode of Overcoming the BS Project. This is your host, Chef Minerva. And today I am like super duper excited because I have with me a good friend of mine, which I have known for like almost 20 years. And this is absolutely exciting for me. Let me tell you about my friend. She is a devoted wife, a loving, kind mother of three. She is a faithful servant of God. She has developed and established many different women's groups. And on top of that, she's a health coach. She is a fitness coach. And now she is working towards her doctor's degree in holistic natural health and healing. Welcome, Vimarie Gonzalez.
Hey, thank you. Oh my goodness, was that me? Thank
Mari,
you.
thank you so much for being here. And wow, Mari, you look amazing. You look so beautiful. It's been a while, but you look fantastic.
Thank you. You
I
too.
have I have to ask you, how do you do it? How do you keep a balance between family and work, between mentoring and your doctor's degree, and on top of that, have time to have fun?
I know. That's a good question. Good question. I think, well, balance. I don't know. I don't always get it right. Like sometimes some things gotta give, and that's okay. But so far, trying to establish balance, trying to, tell myself whenever you're doing this, you're all in this. Whenever it's time to do something else and be there and enjoy it, in terms of my health, in terms of my fitness. There has been ups and downs, but I make it a priority because if mom is not good, if mom is not well, then the rest starts falling. So
Mhm.
yes, I think in planning and organizing, just learning those principles to me have been those principles have kept me.
Wow, that's awesome. Planning, organizing, and prioritizing you
Yes.
as a person, as a woman.
Mm.
And one of the things that I have noticed among Christian women, we think that because we take time for ourselves, that means that we're selfish. How do you feel about that? I mean, how much truth is there in
Well,
concept?
I make it a priority because if mom is not good, if mom is not well, then the rest starts falling. So
Mhm.
yes, I think in planning and organizing, just learning those principles to me have been those principles have kept me.
Wow, that's awesome. Planning, organizing, and prioritizing you
Yes.
as a person, as a woman.
Mm.
And one of the things that I have noticed among Christian women, we think that because we take time for ourselves, that means that we're selfish. How do you feel about that? I mean, how much truth is there in
Well,
concept?
well, I believe it's out of context. The fact that we do serve, and Jesus served, but also we cannot give what we do not possess. So if we don't take care of us, we cannot take care of the rest. We cannot serve, we cannot love, we cannot be present. When the Bible says, love others as you love yourself, it is telling us clearly that loving ourselves is necessary in order to be able to love others. So no, this philosophy or this thinking amongst the body of Christ, among Christian women, that taking care of myself, just going and exercising, just having girl time, and encouraging each other, just taking care of us is selfish. I don't think it's true at all.
No, no. So basically, you have mentioned here that time management, it is absolutely important. Then on top of that, manage your time for yourself, for your family and work. That's a huge balance right there. How do you do to manage time, to manage family, and to manage work?
Well, I've so it's important to say that when we start something, like at the beginning, I didn't manage it well. It's just as we do, we learn and we say, oh, wait a second, this is not being taken care of. This is, and as you are doing life, as you are engaging in new things, let's say you used to not go to the gym because you thought that you didn't have time, but then you are determined now, and then you're going to start taking care of yourself in that in your fitness aspect. Then you're going to start seeing that maybe you have to wake up a little earlier to have all of the morning routine for the rest of the family set, or that we can ask for help, that we don't have to do it all in order to do other things that God has called us to do. So
Awesome.
I think delegating is
Mhm.
also uh, important to learn. Sometimes, and I don't know, but I'm Puerto Rican, and our culture kind of says, or I don't know if it's verbally
Yes.
or just by seeing our moms and our grandmas just doing it all, we learn that we have to do it all, and we have to do it all on our own, and that
Mhm.
just brings so much stress and
Stress.
sickness
Yes.
and all of the rest that we already know. So delegating, learning to delegate, has been
Mhm.
an amazing thing that I've learned in my journey as a mom, as a wife, as a mom, as an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So yeah, delegating is important. We have to add that to the list of ingredients. Asking my husband
Absolutely.
for help, letting him know, listen, uh, I want to do this. This is important to me. Uh, are we on the same boat? Can you help me
Mhm.
with this? I have older kids now, so that's another thing. Sometimes for
Mhm.
moms out there with little ones, I still have a 10-year-old, but I have a 19 and a 16. So
Wow.
they can help now as well. They're pretty independent. I don't have to be going here and there or taking. So yeah, I have help in my house, so that helps.
That's awesome. You mentioned something very important, stress. Okay. And you know that in this podcast, we are all about helping women to remove the blocks that are keeping us from manifesting our true greatness. And stress. It is
Yes.
a huge block for us. It is a block for our mental health because, of course, we get angry, we get depressed, we get frustrated, and all these negative feelings. They just put us on an very anxiety, with a lot of anxiety. On top of that, then we have the body blocks. Uh, the stress, what it causes imbalances in our hormones, sugar levels. It lowers the metabolism, but it accelerates the aging process in our bodies. And on top of
Yes.
that, the stress, I believe that it affects big time our spirituality, because it causes a disconnection among the people that we love, and on top of that, with our creator. um,
Yes.
so in that way, in that meaning, what kind of strategies do you think you can share with our audience so they can keep the calm and experience more joy?
So you are absolutely right. Stress is usually the last thing we address when we're not feeling well. We're like, wait a second, but why is it that I'm feeling this way? Well, as a matter of fact, our design, which is, I believe, my message, living according to design. We were not designed for stress. There are so many different studies and papers on stress. And when we have stressful thoughts, which come from, of course, external sources, everything that we're trying to do at the same time, that multitasking that is so popular nowadays, uh, it causes something in our brains. It's like a short circuit, and as you say, a lot of other systems are affected in our bodies. So we
Mhm.
start experiencing physical health problems, just because of stress.
Mhm.
Uh, Exercising to me has been life changing. Like
Yes.
just being able to, well, the science behind what exercise does to the body
Mhm.
is also amazing. So to me, keeping calm is not dependent on your environment that much, because you can be in a house full of noise, but just taking time,
Mhm.
like for example in the morning, create a ritual that works for you.
Oh, so what's your ritual?
So my
If you can share,
ritual,
if you can share.
yeah, so my ritual as a believer, I love being on the word. So as much, and listen, sometimes I don't, sometimes I fall for the for the, oh my gosh, I woke up late and running, but
Mhm.
then throughout the day I start to compensate for that, you know, when I don't commit to my ritual, my morning ritual. So ideally I would just wake up and just bring the gratitude component
Mhm.
in our lives. Just be thankful that, you know, I open my eyes and then I start practicing breathing. You know, breathing
Mhm.
exercises, just breathing in and out is important.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I have a little more time, I just stretch. Even in your bed, you can start stretching before you wake up. And just the morning, just the regular morning routines. I go to my Bible app. I look at my at the verse of the day. Literally, that's what I read first thing in the morning. Verse of the day. When I'm studying, which is usually not in the morning, when I'm studying, then I read different studies and more in depth. But just starting with that is just makes my day a lot better. When I don't do it, I see the difference. So I say
Mm.
creating a routine,
Okay.
a ritual, something that you do constantly, that you go to, you know, when you feel stressed out, when you feel overwhelmed, just breathing in. I mean, it's amazing how much better you will feel just by breathing in deeply and just exhaling. And that makes a difference. Another practice, and
Mhm.
I heard this years ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, of course. You know what it is? When you're so stressed or overwhelmed,
Mhm.
just smile. Just smile.
Yes.
Just go like that. Go
Yes.
like that, and it just changes everything. I don't know why. I have to study that. I don't know why. It just
Oh my gosh,
changes.
I read something, I don't know, somewhere that you should smile no matter what, even if the people around you may think that you look silly. But it works,
Right.
because even
Yes.
when they're looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Then you can laugh at that, oh well, whatever, you're making fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of you. So you
Yeah,
know,
just smile.
yes.
Smile. If I'm home, one of my rituals is worship, like music,
Awesome.
or some music that you enjoy. You know, when you're going there, when you feel like you're going there, that you're about to get, you know, or someone else or some situation is trying to get the best of you, you
Mhm.
know, try to engage in something enjoyable. Music,
Mhm.
dance, smile. You know, when you do this, I bet you no, whatever is going on is going to, you
Yeah.
know, maybe later, not today.
Listen, I'm taking notes because these are great tips. And one of the things that I have heard before and that I try to apply in my life every day is that it is your responsibility to be happy. It is a choice. You cannot wait for other people to make you happy or for the circumstances to be perfect in order for you to feel happiness. Because
Mhm.
of course, that will put a lot more stress. And one of the things that you're recommending here is to have a ritual, which I totally believe in that. I agree 200% with you. I I was taking notes while you were talking, and these are rituals that are very similar to mine. Because when I wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, the very first thing that I do, I stretch in my bed and I give thanks.
Mhm.
One of the things that I have learned is that gratitude, it is the bridge that connects you from where you are to where you want to be.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So if you are in a position that you're not too happy with that position right now, whatever it is, whatever the circumstances are going on in your life, you know that you don't like it. You don't want to be there, but you know
Right.
that you want to be on the other side. You want to be more successful. You want to be happier. You want to have all these wonderful things. Then gratitude is that bridge that connects you from where you are at this moment to where you want to be. And that's how I start my
That's
mornings. When I stretch, I give thanks for everything that is going on at this moment. I mean, I can breathe. I am opening my eyes. I can actually stretch. I can get up. I can hug my husband and kiss my kids, and that
oh
is
wow,
wonderful.
yes.
The other thing that I do, yeah, on top of the gratitude and stretching that I do it together, I meditate. I take time for that, even if it is maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes I have more time. Sometimes I meditate for 1 hour.
Mhm.
But even if you don't
Wow.
have that much time at that moment, wow, 10 to 15 minutes makes such
Yes.
huge difference. And
That is true.
another thing that you mentioned that I don't do in the morning, but I could dance. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. If you want
Dance.
to feel joy, for me, it's like the most wonderful thing. My husband and I, we started taking salsa dance lesson.
Oh, we are. Like my husband just scheduled them.
Mhm.
So yes.
And we do it once a week. We take one day to practice and then another day to go to the studio and dance. The other one that I do, which I really love, is tango and flamenco.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing. You
I
want to
love
feel
it. I
joy?
love it.
Do the
Oh, and sexy. Talk about tango. What a sexy dance. I
tango is
love
very
it. I think every
sensual.
couple should dance tango.
Yes, absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely.
one
Argentinian
thing that
tango.
yes, one thing that you mentioned that I think is worth bringing up is you mentioned happiness and then you mentioned joy, and to me
Mhm.
it has been super freeing and important in my journey to establish the difference between both.
Oh, okay.
So joy and happiness are awesome feelings, are awesome experiences, but they're not the same. Joy
Okay.
comes
Elaborate. Elaborate.
joy okay, joy comes
Uh-huh.
from within. So for us believer is one of the fruits of the spirit. So joy,
Mm,
so we have joy, it comes from within, versus happiness, it comes from external sources, and
okay.
it varies, right? Maybe
Mhm.
that happened that I didn't like, maybe I tried this and I didn't get the results that I was looking for from external sources, things, people, events, all of that. So we need to know that regardless of what's going on in our lives,
Yes.
we can always have joy. We can always
Mhm.
have joy. And then when we
Wow.
know that, to me, knowledge is power. So when we
Absolutely.
know that, when we know, oh, wait a second, I do possess joy. I already have joy. And the joy of the Lord is my strength. So that gives me the strength to do everything that I need to do.
Amen.
So joy is regardless of our circumstances, whereas happiness is always changing, and it comes from the outside. But then joy, and then you add in the gratitude, joy and
Mhm.
gratitude, and that word comes. I mean, even I heard the other day someone speaking and saying, just make a gratitude list, things that you are grateful for. And this is so good because, sometimes right at this moment, you can't think of one thing for, people are hurting and people are going through
Yes.
stuff. So sometimes it's hard to 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 think of something to be grateful for, right? This happened, and this circumstances, and everything is based on circumstances. But when we remember, right?
Mm.
When we remember, oh, God did it then, okay, I can
Yes.
stand strong that he's going to do it again,
He's gonna
that
do it
this
again.
will pass, that he's this time is not going to be wasted, that he's going to use it
Mm.
to help people. So everything that happens to us, every desert that we go through, every situation that we go through, it will have a meaning. It doesn't mean that it was meant to be, or it doesn't mean that, well, sometimes our decisions, put us in situation, but to know,
Absolutely.
yeah, but to know, to remember the things that God has done in the past, to remember
Hmm.
experiences, maybe last week, maybe last month, maybe last year, and then write those down and say, oh, wow, I'm so blessed, so I'm grateful for this. And just being alive, just breathing. Just, if you're alive today, you have a purpose. So hold
Absolutely.
on tight.
That is exactly what my purpose with this podcast, to help women to remove the blocks that are stopping them from manifesting their true greatness. Because we already know that greatness created us. Therefore,
Yes.
greatness is within us. But
Yes.
we have so many things that are blocking that manifestation, that of course, we feel lonely and we feel depressed, we feel anxious. And I know that you have been very active, and although you went through this desert and wilderness and loneliness, I know that it was more emotional than anything else. But I know that you kept active. You
Mhm.
were exercising, you were trying to keep a healthy lifestyle. So what do you do? When do you do it? For how long you do it? What do you do that
Yeah,
is
we want the recipe
stay active? To stay active.
to stay active. When I moved here, my uh, activity dramatically dropped because in Florida I was teaching. Uh, so yeah, so part of my everyday was long hours at the gym. So I started walking the dog. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk the dog. I'm gonna walk the dog. I'm gonna go to Camila's school. This is my youngest, and the school is really close by. So, just starting getting active the way my life was kind of providing, the opportunity for. I was a little, and you don't have to go to the gym to be active. Walking is amazing, and if you have a pet, they also need the activity. So
Mhm, the
just go out there,
exercise.
walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to me, I used to say, well, I don't really like hiking, when I first moved. Now I am in love with hiking. I love
Wow.
just being out there, just the smells, the view, the sounds. It's just God's glory. So just hiking, just walking and walking. I have my dumbbells, my bands, and I
Hmm.
would do 15, 30 minutes sometimes of bands and abs workout. I still have all of my Zumba routines. I still get all of my choreos. So some of that was involved, or just music and dancing. Do what you can with what you have. So I did not like it. Thank God I had the opportunity to go to a gym, but I did not like the environment. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to stay in bed, depressed, looking at the ceiling and waiting for life to happen, right? Talk about living authentic lives.
Hmm.
We're no longer going to wait for life to happen. We're going to happen to life. So I
Absolutely.
was going, so I just say, I have stairs. So I would just I would time me 5 minutes, up and down, up and down.
Hmm.
Because the unfortunate thing about living here is the snow. So in days where I couldn't go out, up
Right.
and up and down, up and down, and just my bands and my light weights, just
So it's all about getting creative. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars
mm-mm,
in a membership for a gym.
mm-mm.
So that's good. And there are so many tools that we can use. I mean, even in the house to exercise. And that's
Yes.
what I do now. I try to get creative in my own house. Our friends can find you. They can connect with you in Facebook. They can find you under Vimarie.Gonzalez.92. They can also go to Instagram as garden_living, and living with two G's.
Two G's.
I'm going
Yes.
to put your information in the description box, and your website. Your website is vimari.towergarden.com, right?
Yes. That's the one.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put everything in the description box, so no worries. And of course, you guys can follow me as well. You can find me on Facebook, on Pinterest, and under Chef Minerva, and on Instagram as well. And Bimari, thank you so much. You have been so
course.
kind and so wonderful. I love you so much. Mwah. God
You
bless you. And to all
too.
my friends, until next episode, this is your host, Chef Minerva. God bless.